Good evening, everyone. Tonight we've got a bit of easy Japanese style food that you can prepare at home in just a flick of your fingers. Yasai Itame with pork. Look at that. I'll hand you over to Ting, who'll tell you just how to cast this onto your tabletop.
สวัสดีค่ะเพื่อนๆวันนี้จะมาทำหมูยาไซอิตาเมะเป็นอาหารสไตล์ญี่ปุ่นเราทำแบบสไตล์บ้านๆทำกินให้เหมือนเป็นอาหารบ้านๆแต่ว่าทำพิเศษต่างจากมื้อทุกมื้อเป็นกินกับผัดผักรวมแล้วก็ซอสมายองเนสวาซาบิค่ะ
And for those of you that didn't quite get that, we're having pork Yasai Itame tonight, which is a simple meal, but it's Japanese style and you can do it at home. It's quite easy, but it just makes an easy dish just that little bit different and gives you a different flavor for the evening. We've got a nice piece of pork fillet there, which will be cut into as much as we feel we need at the time. There's no weights here, you just go by eye. Of course, salt and pepper, pink salt and pepper. There's some sesame oil, there's some Japanese stir-fry sauce, a bit of garlic powder, and then it comes with wasabi mayonnaise, for which you need some spring onions, some mayonnaise and some wasabi, would you believe? And then we've got the vegetables, which are going to be stir-fried. You can put almost anything in here, but basically what's a good combination, I've taken some out to show you. Some shredded cabbage, some spring onions, which are chopped into easy lengths. Some of those spindly little Japanese mushrooms, enoki, are they? I can't remember. Some very thinly sliced pieces of carrot, and some bean sprouts, which are, generally speaking, topped and tailed. So the roots off them and so are the leaves. You could leave the leaves on though. So that's it. It's pretty simple, really. The meat gets fried on a stove griddle, and then the mixed vegetables are stir-fried. We'll start now. So the first thing we're going to do is cut the pork fillet into pieces. We're going to do enough for a couple of us this evening. So cut off the unnecessary fat, but we're left with a nice couple of pieces, which then get beaten into submission and flattened out, break them down a bit so that when they fry they cook quickly and smoothly. And you give both sides a fairly rough beating. And then we'll cut those into easy to eat little cubes, but first of all they need some seasoning, so a bit of salt and pepper for both of them. And we haven't got time to marinate. You can of course marinate the pork to sink some flavour in, but this is an express version tonight, so we're not going to marinate the pork. So we season it on both sides, and to give it just that extra little bit of flavour, we'll put a tiny sprinkling of garlic powder onto the meat, because that way it's we get the flavour, and you can't really fry the chunks of garlic here, but just a powdering a sprinkling of garlic powder. Of course, when you fry the meat, it'll shrink a bit. So we've flattened it, seasoned it, and now cutting it into nice, easy, biteable strips. The olive oil's hot, so we're ready to pop the meat in. And we'll fry it until it seems brownish, and then flip it over and fry it some more until it's just like what we want. While it's frying, we're going to prepare the wasabi mayonnaise. It's ready to be turned over. Yeah. Nice, nice, nice. We're using extra virgin olive oil here because it lends a particularly splendid flavour. The spring onions have been topped and sort of tailed, the big tail, ready for the wasabi mayonnaise, which only uses the really green bits. The other bits, which are separated off, will be shredded and added to the mixed vegetables. The pork's frying away in the back there. So now the spring onions are chopped as small as possible. There we are. Those go into the bowl. And we add about a teaspoon of wasabi in there, wasabi paste, and some top quality mayonnaise. And mix it all around, and of course some lemon juice as well. We're lucky we get lemons out of our garden, so a good helping of lemon juice in there as well, and then a good mix. There's the wasabi mayonnaise all mixed up. Had a taste, it's rather nice. I'm not sure if I mentioned at the beginning that, of course, this is served with Japanese rice, which we've done in our rice cooker. Japanese rice is a bit different. You use 1 cup of rice for 1 1/4 cups of water. Anyway, we've done ours in the rice cooker, and there it is, looking extremely yummy. Now back to the main dish. The pork's coming along well, it's almost ready. So now we're going to do the vegetables, the mixed vegetables. I think we should switch over the frying pan and the saucepan because the meat doesn't need to be fried very fast. Our gas is not too good on this, but the front burner is fast enough to keep the pork going off at the last minute, and the back can get nice and hot. There's a drop of olive oil there in the wok to start the veg off, and of course we've got the sauce to go in with it. So as soon as we think that that's hot enough, we can start off, and nice to have a drop of water handy, because a little sprinkling of water is always a good idea with the vegetables, because the pan's hot, the water turns to steam fast and will help steam the veg while it's frying. So we put that in, and keep it going on a high flame to begin with, and coat it as you do in a normal stir fry. We've turned that all over. It's going nice and quickly, so time to top in some water, douse it over, and we put in a bit of sesame oil as well. Good sprinkling of sesame oil gives it a lovely nutty flavour, and also some of the Japanese stir-fry seasoning. We use Kikkoman, who are reputedly excellent, aren't they always? And then rustle that around and give it a chance to cook. There, the vegetables are sizzling away very happily there. Some of you may think there's rather a lot of liquid in there, but a lot of it will boil off, and we may have to leave it a bit longer, but that just means that a lot of the vegetables are a bit softer, which for me, of course, is absolutely ideal because I'm old and I'm short of teeth. Anyway, keep it going and stir it around. Okay, that's done enough. And so now all we do is dish it up onto a plate. Of course, what else would you dish it up onto? So there we are, the pork Yasai Itame. It looks absolutely lovely. Good vegetables. The juice is running off on the plate. We've got our wasabi mayonnaise there. The pork looks nice and tasty. There's a bit of garnishing of lettuce there. And of course, the rice. Look at that. Japanese food in your own home. So easy and so delicious. Have a fantastic meal.